Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Short and simple movie reviews. Hosted by Andy and Yasmin. Answering the question, is this movie for you?
Hello and welcome to Is This Movie For You podcast, the podcast that reviews movies simply and answers if the movie is for you. My name is Andy. Over there, once again, is Yasmin. And this time round, we have reviewed Dunkirk.
Oh my God, how are you feeling after this movie?
Holy moly. What did I say in the car? I said we've just seen it. And I feel like I've been to the gym, so I'm all worn out, but I feel like I've had a Red Bull at the same time. So,
Yeah, my heart is still pumping. It is crazy.
Yeah. It actually feels like I've had too many energy drinks.
Okay, we're getting everyone excited to hear what this is about, so let's get into it.
All right.
Storyline is World War II, set in Dunkirk, France. Now, it follows three storylines. There's actually no real main character in this movie.
It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think I've really seen many movies like this. So it follows the air, land and sea. So air is obviously the Air Force pilots trying to fight the German planes. The land is the men trying to get off of Dunkirk back to England.
Sure.
And there's like 400,000 soldiers on that beach trying to get onto the boats.
Yeah.
Then the sea is the Navy sending all their boats trying to rescue the soldiers. And they actually commandeer all the small boats in England and send them over with civilians. So this movie's directed by Chris Nolan. Normally I don't really talk about directors too much, but he makes amazing movies. He is responsible for The Dark Knight Rises, Inception, Interstellar. So if you've seen any of those movies, you definitely won't be disappointed when you see this. It's so emotive and has you like, your heart is just beating out of your chest the whole movie.
Well, I mean, both of us agreed on the way back that we were expecting something completely different than what we got. I know I personally thought it was going to be a history wartime sort of movie with some cool animation in it from what I saw in the trailer.
Me too.
But, oh my God, it was that plus a heap more.
Yeah, I thought it was like the most gripping movie ever. From the very first scene to the very last scene of the movie. Yeah. You couldn't take your eyes off.
Yeah, it was distressing, thrilling, suspenseful, but all in a good way, if you know what I'm saying.
It was so good.
Well, one thing that I personally think made it as well, apart from what we could see, was the sound.
The sound was so good.
It had my heart beating out of my chest, and it pretty much went for a walk around the cinema and came back again, and I was like, oh my God, what just happened? For the whole movie, it emotively had me up and down throughout the whole movie, in a good way again, like I said, in a really thrilling and suspenseful way. But then at the end, when you're looking at the credits, we found out who the music master was, and that was the main man, Hans Zimmer, who has composed for over 150 movies. So, like, you know his music from the Pirates of the Caribbean to Hannibal to Kung Fu Panda to Sherlock Holmes and a heap others. So he's actually worked with the director many times before. So that director knew when casting the music, he knew which dude to go for.
I've never thought that just a single violin playing could send you so crazy.
It was actually insane. It was actually insane. Hey, one thing I didn't realise until 3/4 way through the movie, Harry Styles is in it.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not notice that.
Yeah. How crazy is that? Also, another dude who was in it is Cillian Murphy. He's like an Irish actor, and you may know him from Peaky Blinders. I don't know if you've seen that TV show at all yet. It's on the old Netflix. It's really good.
Yeah, of course.
If you haven't seen it, definitely see it. But he's the main character of that. So I remembered him from that. And I was like, oh man, this guy's going to play such a good role. Oh yeah. And he did. Also, Tom Hardy's in it. You would have seen his first acting gig in Black Hawk Down, and he's done a heap of other movies.
Yeah.
He's in like the new Star Wars coming out very soon as well. So it's action-packed cast, and boy, did they deliver.
I cannot say amazing enough. It was so good.
I can't wait to find out what your hot dog rating's going to be. Now, a handy seating tip.
Yes.
We were handed this information just before the movie from our main man, Tim, who we have spoken about in the previous podcast, but haven't mentioned a name. This guy's a legend. He knows his movies inside and out. He said, guys, I've done something for you. And we're like, what have you done, Tim? You usually do awesome things, so this can only be awesome. He goes, mate, this is way awesome than awesome. And then he got out a piece of paper and he showed us these details on the actual movie to say that the aspect ratio, so that's the actual bit of vision that you see on the screen, is different to what a normal movie is because it was filmed in like special, is it like VMAX cameras or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah, so basically it's letterbox. So it's got the black bars above and below. So it's actually a thinner movie, which means when you're sitting there, you want to sit up closer.
Yeah, so don't go taking the back seats of the cinema. It's going to be wasted on you.
Yeah, unless you're doing some funky business, the old school cinemas.
But don't waste your time doing that in this movie. Watch it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. You're definitely going to watch this one for sure.
Who would you take?
Okay, I would definitely take my mates because they would want a thrilling ride.
Yes.
It's like a roller coaster that doesn't stop for the whole time. It's crazy. Definitely dudes. I don't know if you disagree with that at all. Older people that don't have heart conditions, I'll definitely
No heart conditions, please.
We talk about it every podcast, but it is true.
I have actually walked out with a heart condition.
In a good way, though.
In a great way.
In a good way. Anyone that wants to take a trip into history, but in a really cool way. And, of course, anyone that wants a suspenseful thriller.
I have to totally agree then. Anyone who loves your heart racing.
Yep.
You'll be very pleased through this whole movie.
Yep.
And I just thought that anyone who really appreciates movies, if you love cinematography, if you love special effects, if you love music, if you love all that stuff, you will be so pleased with this movie. Even if you don't, you'll be like, wow, maybe I should get into this because it's so great.
Now, I've mentioned something new about my life every time we talk about the podcast. I do a bit of animation as well. Totally respect what happened in this movie because I couldn't pick the faults. Usually in movies where they have a lot of animation and sort of, backdrops and fake ships falling over and stuff like that, I can pick it. I can pick it a bit. But this time round, holy moly, they've spent a lot of time and money and effort into this movie.
I'm pretty sure they actually went out to sea and sunk all those boats.
Yeah, they sunk a lot of boats in this movie. Let's just say that. A lot of planes went down. It was awesome.
So, we've said it's awesome.
Yes.
How many hot dogs?
Well, let me prepare you for mine. 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, and also 92% of Google users love this movie. I'm going to give it 100%, 5 hot dogs out of 5 hot dogs. Yeah, I'd never thought that I would give that rating to this particular movie. I'm still actually processing everything that happened in the movie, and I probably will be processing for the next couple of months. But right now, I am epically happy with this movie. 5 out of 5 hot dogs for sure. Now, Yasmin, what's your rating?
I'm a hard marker.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a hard marker.
You are a very hard marker. Would you like a drum roll?
Yes, please. Maestro.
Here it is.
Okay, I'm giving it 4.5.
Oh, yeah, that's still good.
Yeah, okay, so hear me out.
Okay.
I thought this was amazing, and I totally get why you'd give it 5 stars.
Yes.
But I kind of can't handle those really thriller movies.
Oh, no.
So partway through, I was like, I just want it to be over. This is doing me in.
Yeah.
But I loved it at the same time.
Mixed emotions.
Yeah.
Mixed emotions.
Just for me personally, it's
Okay.
4.5. But I think if you love thrillers, it's definitely a 5.
Well, perfect. Also, don't forget, if you're going to see it, go to a cinema that has something like, Dolby Atmos, the VMAX style, all that stuff, because you don't want to miss out on the whole movie in this particular sound. All right, well, that's the end of this podcast. If you want to give your review on the movie Dunkirk, hit us up on Instagram at Is This Movie For You? Also, Facebook.com/Is This Movie For You? Also, OzCastNetwork.com. You can check out all our previous episodes there. And if you have any feedback, let us know as well, because we want to make this thing better for you, We want to make you enjoy yourself when you're on the way to work, or if you're just at home wanting to watch movies, or maybe you work in a cinema and you're just trying to check out to see if you want to employ us at some stage. Hit us up with any feedback, please. OzCastNetwork.com. And Yasmin, we'll see you next time in the movies.
We sure will. We'll see you there.
Is This Movie For You podcast is part of the Ozcast Network.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to OzCastNetwork.com for details.